Hello, this is Mary Cole with Good Story Company, and I'm here to talk about this writing adage of write what you know. We had a blog post about it on the Good Story blog a little while ago, and we got some questions that I thought were a little bit funny. Like, for example, if I'm writing historical fantasy, how do I write what I know? And I think sometimes this advice is taken a little bit too literally. And so I wanted to talk about it in the context of what I feel it really means and how it can really contribute to your writing in a way that makes sense. So to me, write what you know really means take the emotional truth that you know and your experience and put that into the story rather than I'm an editor, and I sit on a computer all day and and if I only wrote characters who were sort of in that world doing that, and that was the only thing that sort of made it onto the page, I think that would be a rather limited application of the write what you know advice. But I would say that if we sort of take some of these elements off the table in terms of I can only write about somebody who lives in this city, I can only write about somebody who does this for a vocation, I can only da-da-da-da-da. If we take some of that away, what do we have left? And I think that is really at the heart of this advice, which is the common human elements that I've experienced that you've probably experienced in your life. For example, joy, sadness, grief, all of these things that I may have put my own slant on as a human being, as a personality. I'm a little bit stubborn, for example. I like to think I'm funny. And so that's the slant I may have put on my experiences. But at the end of the day, I can draw on those experiences and filter them for the purposes of creating a character, for the purposes of creating events in a life. Of course, there are going to be times when you want to write about somebody who is not an editor living in Minneapolis, which is sort of my demographic profile, where you may have to beef up your work with research. For example, if I wanted to write about a pediatric nurse, I have never lived that life, but I would love to talk to one and find out the specifics, the particulars, like our historical fiction question that we got on a Write What You Know blog post. We would absolutely want to beef up and put scaffolding around our ideas with research, especially since we don't time travel, or at least I don't. I don't know about you. But a lot of the things that come from that write what you know advice are applicable in terms of, can I find common ground with my character? Can I find common experiences with my character? I can add a truth to those experiences just based on the truth that I've lived in my life. It doesn't necessarily have to be quite so literal. That being said, there are a lot of conversations right now about lived experience and who can write what based on their lived experience. For example, if I don't have the lived experience of a character who is not cisgendered, do I write a protagonist in that vein? So that is a whole other conversation to have about this write what you know concept. And we actually have this great video from Erin and Trotta Kelly meeting with our Story Mastermind group and really dissecting it. So please check that video out if this topic interests you. But I think sometimes this write what you know advice doesn't have to limit you, because what you know isn't just who you are. What you know has a lot of basic human truth to it that you could also bring to the table when you're rendering a character's experience on the page. So that's how I would unpack that advice. My name is Mary Cole with Good Story Company. Here's to a good story.